Hello everybody, Megazord X here. Get it again to give you another very exciting video and for today. Oh shoot, if you hadn't already been aware of it, Miyamoto went and threw out a little bone for us here at the latest Nintendo financial reports because apparently he said he's been in the works with some people. And yes, a live action Legend of Zelda movie is in the works that he is producing. We came off that hot success of the Super Mario Brothers movie and everybody thought that was great, myself included. I thought it was phenomenal. People kind of wondering what could be the next Nintendo IP that could actually manage to get some kind of an adaptation. And yes, it is our boy, The Legend of Zelda, but not like an animated thing like Mario was. It's actually going to be live action, which is going to make things really and extremely interesting. So in today's video, I just want to kind of give my thoughts on it, where the story could potentially go, what timeline we could be up in, just talking about the producers and the kind of previous works they've been working on and everything else in between those. So if you hadn't already done so, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date. All things video game related, I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. A Legend of Zelda movie. Who would have thought about this? I am just ecstatic through the moon on this one though. So here in front of me, I do manage to have the news release that Nintendo happened to put up on their own website. So let's go ahead and just run through the information just real quick about the producers, who's gonna direct this, and everything else in between. Nintendo Company Representative Director and President Shigeru Furukawa, Nintendo today announced that it will develop a live action film of The Legend of Zelda. The film will be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, Representative Director and Fellow of Nintendo, and Avi Arad, Chairman and Arad Productions Incorporated, who has produced many mega hit films. The film will be produced by Nintendo and Arad Productions and directed by Wes Ball. The film will be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Pictures Entertainment Incorporated, which is kind of interesting right there. The fact that Sony is actually helping them out with Nintendo is kind of funny and a little bit ironic though, but you got to remember Sony gaming division is very different from Sony film making, producing, kind of, the Sony film side of things is totally different from the Sony game side of things. So just kind of keep that in mind. But with more than 50% financed by Nintendo, the theatrical distribution of the film will be done by worldwide by Sony Pictures Entertainment Incorporated. By producing visual contents of Nintendo IP itself, Nintendo is creating new opportunities to have people from around the world to access the world of entertainment which Nintendo has built through different means apart from its dedicated game console. By getting deeply involved in the movie production with the aim to put smiles on everyone's faces through entertainment, Nintendo will continue its efforts to produce unique entertainment and deliver it to as many people as possible. All right, so there is a lot to digest just within that short little bit of a synopsis that Nintendo has managed to give us within this. So we know Shigeru Miyamoto, the one that happened to help produce and lead the charge with Illumination being their partners for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. A great hit, managed to bust out box offices and managed to get a really strong drive out there for just, the face of Mario. Literally, Mario's been like, the Disney for gaming right there. So no shocker, no surprise, they hit it out the park with that. But then people started wondering, Donkey Kong be next, or whatever Nintendo IP it will be, it happens to be The Legend of Zelda. Now, the interesting thing about this one is it is live action. So you had to treat this completely different from the way how, the Mario movie was handled with it being, animated in that one. Now we got actual actors and stuff, like we gotta actually hire somebody to represent Link and potentially Zelda and potentially Ganondorf and all of that stuff though. But I'll talk about the characters here in a bit though, but let's talk about the people that are behind the scenes here real quick. So I already talked about Shigeru Miyamoto. We already know he produced one movie already though. So the other producer over here, Avi Arad, is actually well known for a lot of films, especially within the superhero franchise series. A lot of people may know of, like for example, he produced the original Hulk movie and then went on to make some MCU shows such as First Iron Man and The Incredible Incredible Hulk. He's also known for, producing the original Spider-Man trilogy, the first, second, and third one, along with the two Amazing Spider-Man films, though. So there's a lot of good films he actually helped, produce right there. But then there's some shaky ones such as Venom and Mobius, which those kind of didn't hit too well in the box office. Kind of like each one for what they kind of do, though. But I mean, in terms of like a hit, smash, run success, it kind of goes to say. But then at the same time, he also managed to produce the latest Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film right there. So this one, everybody and their mama nearly loves like that. So there's some highs and there's some lows, at least with this one producer that they're working with. Pretty well known with this producer and the films he managed to do. I'm a big Marvel fan in general, though. So I'm really kind of, I didn't think I actually would know a lot of the works that the producer is actually known for. So, you know what? I feel like if he does this just right with, Shigeru Miyamoto being there to assist him, because literally he's the father for the Legend of Zelda series. I think Shigeru Miyamoto will hold back the reins just enough on him to where I feel like it will be a very solid movie right here. Now, in terms of the director, Wes Ball, I'm not really too familiar with some of the works that he is known for. Literally the Maze Runner series right here. That's what he's kind of known for. That first one, the Scorcher Trials, Maze Runner, The Dead Mirror. Those are the films that he's actually well acquainted for or known for, which the only thing I'm looking over here on this list that I actually will get to see is The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I believe that one is the one I'm probably going to sit down and watch some point, and it's supposed to come out in some point in 2024, so I will get my hands on that. I'll manage to sit down and probably see it at theater or just watch it at the comfort of my home when it releases out on DVD or streaming or something like that. I will see how he directs that film, and from that point, then I'll have a little bit of experience, at least with this one director right here. Hopefully the producers lead him down the right path in terms of him being able to direct this movie in a good way that could definitely make Link shine in this one film, though. So yeah, so that's basically all the background context in terms of the people that are kind of running this show from behind the scenes, though. Now let's get to the more interesting or more fun topics. In terms of the timeline, the story, it's very different from a Mario series compared to the Legend of Zelda series that we're talking about right now. Because with Mario, yes, the dude's a plumber. He jumps and hops around, does all this kind of little fun little stuff, managed to beat Bowser, save the princess, and yada, yada, yada. It's a very straightforward plot. Meanwhile, Legend of Zelda over here, you have like a whole realm of different timelines. The story is much more important with this being more of an adventure style type of storytelling. And we have like 3 different timelines up in here. Don't even get me started on the lore. We don't have enough time to talk about this, about the whole entire lore of Legend of Zelda here in this one video right here, though. The story is going to be incredibly important. Now, where in the world do you go with the direction of the story in this one? Because you have a lot of different source material that you can pull from. You can literally pull from Twilight Princess if they want to kind of go that realistic approach, since this is going to be a live action film. Or they can go, with something super iconic, being Ocarina of Time. There's a good reason why they might go with that. But then they could go with Skyward Sword if they kind of want to set up the timeline and actually make it kind of make a little bit of sense. They could do something like that. But then at the same point, they could actually choose something that has a little bit more recency bias and choose something really important like Breath of the Wild and base it purely upon that. Like, that's the flagship Link we're used to now. For the fact that thankfully this is a live action film makes me think that we're going to be on the more lines of the more realistic Legend of Zelda. So you're not going to see something like the Wind Waker adaptation of Link or Phantom Hourglass and the other one right there, Spirit Tracks. But you ain't going to have those ones. So I'm kind of happy, we ain't going to probably have any of those. You might have some Easter eggs or teasers from any of these video games. I expect there to be quite a bit, though. I would almost guarantee the story is probably not going to be based upon one of those different things within that set line of the timeline. So in terms of story, I'm thinking something grounded with Ocarina of Time. Now, whether or not you do the whole time travel mechanic thing and introduce adult Link and young Link and all of this stuff, though, it's gonna be yet to be seen, because I feel like in this film, considering it is Legend of Zelda, you're gonna have some kind of time aspect of it. The only thing that probably wouldn't is if they did Breath of the Wild. But if you use Ocarina of Time or Skyward Sword, you have to talk about the whole time traveling mechanic, which hopefully that doesn't go too far up and over the young audience's heads. This was all an assumption based upon, do they choose something out of the source material from all these games? They could do something completely unique and something entirely different, pulling different elements and stuff like that from each one of the games, explaining about the lore of, Hylia and how in the world she passed on. You know, you got to talk about the Triforce and all of this stuff. And I'm pretty sure no matter what, Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf, I'm pretty sure all three of them are going to be represented up in this film though. So I think that's probably all I can think of, at least in terms of like a plot line, a timeline, or something like that. There's a lot of different ways to go, and I know everybody's spitballing. Y'all gotta let me know in the comment section down below, you know, what kind of timeline you want this to be in, where it would be like a Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, the Skyward Sword, anything. I want to hear about those thoughts in the comment section down below. The other cool and interesting aspect in terms of this movie announcement is the actors that are gonna play as these different characters. Because mind you, with it being live action, it's gonna be even more important. It's gonna make the actors behind these characters seem way better. And it's gonna make the Mario movie seem a bit more tame in comparison. Because mind you, it's live action. There's no way you're gonna be able to have Link talk for this whole entire movie. There's no way you can go through this whole entire movie and have Link not talk a lick at all. That's just gonna be absolutely insane. Now, in terms of who could, you know, act as Link, I don't have any strong favorites for it though, but I will say this one thing. If for some oddball reason they managed to get Tom Holland to play as Link in this movie, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna laugh real hard and then I'm gonna be done. I'm like, how many more movies this dude gonna show up in? So if this dude shows up as Link, I'm gonna be like, what the actual heck? Two people I could definitely see playing as the role of Ganondorf, which I'll find really funny, but I think that actually would suit the role pretty well, will be The Rock or Vin Diesel. And either one of these two is shown as Ganondorf, when that first trailer drops, I'm gonna be ecstatic through the moon. I'm gonna be like, yes, this is gonna work. I'm gonna love this thing. Like, you have a little bit of cheesiness up in it though, just to make it just right, because this is gonna be a Nintendo film at the end of the day, which some people might be wondering, well, what is this gonna be rated? Would it be Nintendo? I think it's gonna be PG. It ain't gonna be PG-13. You ain't gonna see them say any bad words or nothing like that. They want to be enjoyable by all audiences, as they said in that little report there. I think those two can do a very good Ganondorf impression, so I would love to see that. In terms of everybody else, I can't say who would be the perfect Princess Zelda or anything like that, but all the same, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see who gets to play what roles, what kind of timeline we kind of going on in, and see what Shigeru Miyamoto is gonna manage to hook up in the kitchen with Sony, weird as it may be, what kind of timeline we're living in now. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below what all that you think about this movie announcement. Yes, was it kind of strange for y'all to kind of get this big major news drop revealed on some kind of random midday week, in the middle of the week, during some financial reports? They just kind of slid that mess up in there though. Like, you saw this mess trending on Twitter and everywhere else, and everybody was already making these videos and stuff like that though. But man, y'all gotta let me know in the comment section down below what all you think about this. What do you want to see from this movie? Your expectations, things that you don't want to see. That's also just as equally as important. Things you don't want to see up in this movie. And it's gonna be good. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's got to be good. But that's gonna basically do it in terms of this video right here though. But done so, make sure you're gonna hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.